Hi, my name is Vivian. I lost my stepdaughter to a heroin overdose 7 years ago. Today, on this video, you will hear from other parents who lost their children to this horrific epidemic that we are facing in many communities.
My name is heroin. I destroy homes. I tear families apart. I take your children, and that is just to start. The destruction I bring to your life right off the bat is like flipping a switch and you cannot go back. If you need me, I am easily found. I live all around you, in schools and in towns. I am not prejudiced. I take the rich, I take the poor. I don't care what religion or race is living behind your door. My power is frightening. Just try me and you'll see. But if you do, you will never break free. Try me once, I will never let you go. Try me twice, and I own your soul.
My son, Kyle Fisher Hertz, overdosed on heroin on September 20th, 2016. He died on the bathroom floor of a Las Vegas motel. Kyle was 26 and been battling addiction for more than 3 years. But describing him solely as an addict would be doing a disservice to one of the most remarkable young men I've ever had the privilege of knowing. Kyle spent much of his spare time during middle school and high school honing his skills as a stand-up comic. By the time he was 15, he'd played clubs in New York City and Las Vegas and had performed in a television show in Los Angeles. Kyle did enroll in the University of Washington, and he was succeeding academically when he had to call a halt to his education. He no longer had the money to continue because he had spent it all on drugs. He checked into a rehab facility near his grandmother's home in Las Vegas, and over the next 3.5 years, he would undergo treatment in detox centers and rehab facilities in Nevada, Massachusetts, and California. Kyle was the real deal. But he was also an enigmatic contradiction. He battled his demons and his depression while throwing himself headlong into life, cracking jokes, hurtling down ski slopes, scaling mountains, and stooping to help a child. Heroin destroyed all of this. But recklessness and obsessive behavior are common in teenage boys. Most of them never use heroin. Why did Kyle take such risks? Perhaps it was because he hadn't suffered enough dire consequences and believed he was smart enough to avoid having anything really bad happen to him. One of his sponsors once told Kyle that he seemed to think that he could outsmart his addiction. His sponsor said, "Kyle, the addiction is just as smart as you are." But Kyle, why did you experience this particular kind of addiction and continue to make bad choices in the face of all logic? I know a little bit about the damage opioids do to the neural paths of the brain, and you knew it a lot better than I did. Why did you continue using until it killed you? Why did you die? Kyle, you ripped the fabric of our family when it happened, and it continues to do so. Your mother and sister are both in therapy. I still have days when it's difficult to think of anything else. Maybe it's when our beloved Phillies come from behind and win a ball game. Maybe it's when I read a book that I know you'd enjoy. Or maybe it's when I'm playing racquetball or going skiing without you. Kyle, I'll miss you every day for the rest of my life, but I know I'll draw comfort from the good times that we had, from knowing the difference you made in others' lives, and from something your daughter Maggie observed as she celebrated her 3rd birthday, which you missed. As she was about to blow out the 3 candles on her little cake, Maggie paused and looked at those assembled around her. "I wish Dada was here," she said. And it's okay to be sad, but it's okay to be happy too. I'm sure that Kyle would agree with Maggie on that, and I'm sure Kyle will be here with us today, doing what he can to eradicate this horrible disease.
I make you steal and I make you lie. You do whatever it takes just to get high. I will destroy your body in every way and you will slowly die each and every day. Your teeth will rot, your hair will fall out, your body will break down till there's nothing left and we put you in the ground. There will be nothing in your life not affected by me. Every relationship will be broken, starting with your mom and your dad. You will lose every friend you've ever had. I will take everything from you, your looks, your pride. I will always be with you right by your side. You will forget your morals and how you were raised. I will take over and teach you my ways.
And these days, we are dealing more with opioids and heroin. And I can tell you from my experience in over 23 years in law enforcement that we've never seen anything like this. The epidemic that not only are we seeing in this county, but across the country is unheard of. And this drug, it touches everybody. The hardest thing for me, I've had to, over the years, speak with many parents that, well, they didn't want to believe that their son or daughter had an addiction. The drugs led them to do such horrible things to such loved ones that under normal circumstances they never would. The end result often is an overdose. That overdose often leads to me having to go and knock on somebody's door. It's one of the hardest things that I've ever done. I'm a parent myself, and I could not imagine losing my child. So I have to knock on a door and speak with a parent and let them know that their son or daughter that they had such high hopes for, that they never ever imagined what they would be remembered for is that their son or daughter died from a heroin or opioid overdose. Please understand that this drug, it'll touch everybody. You, me, everybody, if we are not careful. This drug often leads to a lot of petty crimes, thefts, petty larcenies, stealing from cars, stealing from parents, grandparents, and inevitably that turns into an arrest. An arrest never comes at an opportune time. There's never a great time to be arrested. When you're arrested, and it may be while you're in school, it may be while you're in front of your parents, maybe while you're eating dinner, we would have to come in there, put your hands behind your back, place you in handcuffs, bring you to us while your parents are upset and crying, bring you to the station, unhandcuff you while we fingerprint you, take down all of your vitals. We may, based on the crime, have to strip search you. Then it will lead to court time. It will lead to embarrassment for you and your family because your name very well may appear in the newspaper. And that will lead to, well, your future may not be as bright.
Brandon was my youngest of two sons who lost his battle of addiction on May 19th, 2016. To know Brandon was to love him. He was kind and generous. He loved making pizza and cooking. He had a love for his bulldogs. He was loved by so many, and his memory will continue on. He is dearly missed every day. It is very difficult to go on, but I know he is an angel on my shoulder. He struggled with his addiction for 4 years before losing his battle. He would be very proud to know he is helping someone else in need. Missed and loved dearly, the following is something that I wrote to him in my journal. I remember the little pale, red-headed child who ran around with his brother stirring up trouble. I remember the 14-year-old who wanted so much that he went out and worked for it. I remember you wanting to celebrate your birthday in August versus December because you said people wouldn't come if it snowed, and I let you. I remember your love of pizza and the dream to own your own pizzeria, and the day you actually filled that dream. I remember the man you had become, who was always there for so many, no matter what they needed. I remember the words in my Mother's Day card, 9 days before you left us. "You are truly my hero," is what you wrote to me. I remember the son who always called me Mama. Brandon, your room remains the same as it was 10 months ago. My heart still feels empty. Sometimes I get angry at you too. I ask myself why. I've had these conversations with you time and time again, and your response was, "Stop trying to fix it, Mom. You'll never understand." My heart aches, but I push through because I know you would want me to. The 19th of every month will always be the worst day of my life. But I remember you before this disease took you. I will always remember you, Brandon. I will remember the Brandon that you were before heroin took control of your life.
You will give up everything, your family, your friends, your money, your home. You will be all alone, and I will take and take till you have nothing left to give. When I am finished with you, you will be lucky if you live. If you try me, be warned, I am no game. If you give me the chance, I will drive you insane.
I lost my son Kevin to a heroin overdose September 4th, 2016. I wrote a letter to my son and I'd like to share it with you. Kevin, it has been 6 long months that I last saw your smile, heard your voice, or felt your hugs. Something I will never hear, feel, or see again as long as I live on this earth. As I sit here and write this letter to you, tears roll down my cheek because I know in reality I can never deliver this letter to you. If only heaven had a mailbox, but in hopes it will reach someone else. I wish I could go back in time and change everything. Where did I go wrong as a parent? I educated you on drugs. I told you how bad they were and to stay away from them. I did everything in my power to try to keep you safe. I never thought we would be living this nightmare together a few years later. What happened to my sweet, innocent baby boy? How did we get here? Where did things go wrong? I watched you struggle through the years, going in and out of rehabs, trying to get clean. I didn't understand why you couldn't just stop. Drugs have destroyed our lives. Not only did you struggle, but we did as well, trying to get our lives together. But after your first overdose, nothing would ever be the same again. This affected all of us. The anxiety of finding you again lifeless on the floor would be too much to bear. September 4th will be a day I will never forget. It was the day you lost your battle and the day my heart was broken forever. Daddy, Danny, Justin, and I are a mess, trying to function. How can we live without you? I come home every day from work to see your car sitting in the driveway, your empty room, the empty chair at dinner. The holidays are sad, especially Christmas. I don't even want to celebrate. I would rather sleep the day away because you're not with us. Our life is a mess, all due to this horrible drug. It has destroyed our family and still continues today because you see, I will never get to hug you again, see you get married, see you succeed in life, see your children. You will forever be 25. You had so much more to do here. I know you're now in peace, no more suffering. But we will continue to suffer here on earth without you. I couldn't save you. I will continue to fight this battle, trying to save someone else in the hopes that I save many. Until we meet again, my sweet boy, I hope you're waiting for me at the gates, greeting me with your big hugs. Love, Mommy.
Hi, my name is Kelly Tricoli. I lost my son Cody on March 24th, 2016, and I'm here to share a letter with you that I wrote for him. It's dated March 10th, 2017. My dear sweet Cody, today would have been your 23rd birthday. As I woke this morning, I was immediately overwhelmed with the fact that this would be my first March 10th without you in 23 years. How would I get through this day? How would I get through this month of not only your birthday, but your death day? You were so excited about the impending birth of your daughter, Giovanna. The last few years had been such a roller coaster, and for the first time in a while, I honestly felt like I wanted to just hang out with you. That my Cody, as I always referred to you when you were sober, was back. Little did I know at that time that that weekend would be our last. It was the incredible time we spent with you that weekend that would literally sustain me a few short days later when I found out that you had died from a fatal fentanyl-laced overdose of heroin. I knew that faithful day of March 24th when I hadn't heard from you several times and I couldn't reach you. You will never know what it felt like to hear the words, "He's gone." And I hope and pray that you never saw me fall to my knees and let out that gut-wrenching scream from the depths of my soul. My baby was gone. How will I ever survive this? When I think back on the years that we battled your depression, anxiety, and subsequent addiction, it is quite overwhelming to think of all we went through. And I say we, because I was with you every step of the way. How did we end up where we did? How did my scholar athlete, my kind, smart, popular, beautiful, funny boy end up a heroin addict? Your death has left a huge void in my life and the lives of so many others. For me as your mom, Cody, I want nothing more than for my baby who struggled on earth to have peace in heaven, and that there will never be a day that I am not proud to call you my son. I love you to the moon and back. Happy birthday, my sweet boy.
The nightmares I will give you while lying in bed, the voices you'll hear from inside your head, the shakes, the sweats, the visions you'll see, these are all gifts from me. You will forever regret that you tried me. They always do. But remember, you came to me, not I to you. You could have said no and just walked away. If you could live that day over now, what would you say?
I've been a street medic for over 25 years. So we walk into the scene and, we kind of convey several different scenarios. One to the public of we're trying to help, we're doing as much as we can, but in the back of all the paramedics' head, it's a matter of time. It's tough for us to go in there because we know whether it's gonna be this time or the next time. But the chances of that kid making it, 9 times out of 10, when we get there, they're usually not breathing, but they have a pulse. So they're usually purple. So at that point, we don't start CPR, we start an IV as soon as possible. But before that, usually Sometimes a parent might have Narcan, which at that point we know they're well into knowledge of the opiate addiction, and also usually a cop there but probably gave Narcan. And at that point, we start an IV, then we administer Narcan as well. Used to be we'd only have to give 1 milligram, 2 milligrams. At this point, I think the last overdose I did, we had to give 12 milligrams. So it's not just heroin. It's stronger heroin, and they're mixing it with other drugs. And then, we'll get the patient back, usually in the ambulance, if they're lucky, and you'll expect them to say, wow, I screwed up, I want to straighten my life out. That is not what they say. First thing they say is, what am I doing here? I didn't do anything. We'll question them. What'd you take? What'd you do? You have to know that. What else do they mix it with? And right off the bat, they're in denial. They didn't do anything. They don't take drugs. It's obvious we gave them Narcan. They did. One call we did in particular was in a grandparent's attic. And she's been dead for a while. But she had 3 or 4 envelopes of heroin that she had taken. And that's a lot of heroin. We were just trying to get the family out of there because that's not how you want to remember a family member. The minute this child takes an opiate, it's the first step to their last step. And anything to stop that first step is critical. Heroin is the last thing you try.
Dear Tori, it's been almost 8 years since you left us in such a senseless way. I struggle every day that I couldn't save you. I'm mad at myself for letting you go and not fighting harder. I just didn't know what else to do. I kept thinking you would get better and things would turn around. Unfortunately, they never did. You were only 17 years old when you left this earth. You were supposed to start your senior year that week, and I was excited to do your senior photos for you. I thought it would have been a good chance for us to just talk, and maybe you would see that drugs were not the way to go. Your life was worth more, and I want you to know that. I was angry with you when you were here, but I'm not anymore. I understand. I think about you every day. I talk to you all the time, and I look for signs that you're still here with me. I feel closest to you when I'm gardening, and I always think you would love all the pretty flowers. I remember when I did a room makeover for you, how happy you were. Remember the sun faces? I glued crystals for their eyes, and I painted live, love, laugh, and dance. I had to have dance in there because you loved to dance. On September 3rd, 2009, you overdosed and left this earth for a more peaceful existence. Because heroin had ravaged your life and your body here on earth. Your dad could not bear to choose your final outfit, so I did. I had to do that for my sister when she died at only 15 years old, and now I had to do that for you. A final outfit. I was so worried what you would think. I decided on a beautiful cream sweater that I had bought for you that Christmas before. I took off my little diamond cross and I put it on you. You loved it and I wanted you to have it. I replaced it and I wear it every day. As I looked around your room thinking you will never be in here again, I looked up at the special saying I painted for you. I saw the little blue crystal eyes that I had glued on one of the suns. So I climbed up on your bed and I picked them off. And I thought, I'm gonna put them in your pocket because I have blue eyes. And that way that I will always be with you, watching over you. I love you, I miss you, and you will be forever loved. Love, Viv.
And now that you know me, how does that make you feel? Trust me, this is no joke. Heroin is for real.